Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Mean Green Nation podcast. Welcome to it. Folks, you may have noticed, if you're watching, I usually wear my douchebag fitted flat build cap here. But then, shout out to my friend who's like, you need to look, like an old guy. And he got me this. He plays soccer with me. He's our goalkeeper. And he comes up, he goes, "Here you go, man. Merry Christmas." I was like, well, I was touched. So I wore it. To Champagne, but I just wanted to actually have it here. I wouldn't have chose this for myself. It's just one of those things that you would. Cause I usually like the color green, but I like that. I was like, it's not so bad. And I wore it to Champagne, Illinois, for the Mean Green women at the Fighting Illini. And I gotta say, I got. My children now have like sports hate for Illinois. They're like, "Oh, that evil eye." They're like, "I just don't like that color, orange or the blue." I was like, I told you guys we're probably going to lose this game, so but they can't. They're very disappointed. Kids. They're just like,
yeah, take everything to heart.
Yeah, and it's because like I said, we're here in the Middle West. We have basketball tickets to the local team, and we have some gear. You kind of acquire gear. When you have season tickets, also they're like, "Here, have a free vest." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take a vest." So I just have a lot of gear. It's getting kind of big now. I have a free scarf. It's cold. I wear the scarf. I bought a sweatshirt because it's cold. So you got some things. And I was like, we got to take the kids to some more Mean Green stuff, to really make them. It's hard otherwise, And so they're cheering on that and stuff. It was good because we're their away team, so on the free throws and whatever, the kids are trying to figure out some kind of heckle. And my younger daughter was like, "You stink." I was like, let's just say "Go Mean Green" when they're shooting free throws. Then they did, and it was cool because that's the best part. Like when they're lining up, they're getting set. Say "Go Mean Green," and they shoot, and they kind of miss, and they're like, "Yes." So all that was fun, I got them into the sports fandom a little bit deeper, but for the good old Mean Green,
Yeah, that's always fun. Taking the kids to these kinds of events. Back when we were in Denton, it was a lot of fun, and I would take them to the football games, and they weren't really interested in the game because they're little, right? I've been bringing them since they were infants, and they were like, "Okay, when's the marching band coming out?" And that was their favorite part. Mm-hmm. That and pretzels and the chicken tenders. That was like the reason we're going to football games. And kind of the marching band's over, and they're like, "Okay, well, it's time to go home, right? That's everything's over."
It's always.
But go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
But basketball games, though, they there's a level of intensity that they and energy that they get from the crowd around them. Because it's just constant action, and then in between, they got the light show and different things going on and stuff, and they were just like always in the game, always in the moment, and it was just fun to watch. Right, your own kids, you have your own like sports energy that you kind of feel weird about it, or maybe your wife because she might not match that level of intensity, but you bring these kids, they see everybody else doing the same thing, they're like, "All right, well, I can be loud, I can scream as loud as I can and not get in trouble." They're all for it.
Yeah, it was good being the away team because then, we're going for our team. And then the Orange Crush, right, the student section there, pretty well attended. And they have signs, somebody drew who else was the Mean Green? They drew the Grinch on there, they put some thought into it and they're thinking about it. They're organized, guys getting ready to go up there. Like, all right, we're going to do this, cheer now, get ready. And so, like, the kids are, like, looking at them, so they kind of felt a little competition. I mean, my kids are, under 10, and these kids over here are 20, 19 years old. They're all kids to me now, but, it's all, like, it's kind of funny. My kids think of them as old, and they're like, why are they being mean to our kids? And so then they feel that. We're sort of similar, seated near them. You're right about that, and there's also the part about like my both of my girls are getting into basketball now. They're playing basketball just at the Y, right? And so then they appreciate it more, which I think is it's one of those things like you don't really get to appreciate football, and until you played it a little bit or throwing the ball out around, whatever. But so my girls they see the basketball, and then my daughter turns to me and she's like, I don't know, man. Playing this, watching this game makes me want to go play. When's the next game? I was like, well, you're on a winter break, so it's not until January. And she's like,
Yeah.
I was like, well, we'll go play. We'll go to the park and go play. And we did. She's really into it, so that's all fun to see. But the younger daughter, she was like, I like the one where they smash into each other better. That sport. I think you mean football. She's like, yeah, because they're like pushing each other and they're smashing, and it seems more fun. And I was like, yeah. It's a year ago, January 2025, we started this year in Dallas, right? We went to the moved Frisco Bowl, right? It was at SMU Stadium. But that was our first taste of the Drew Mestemaker experience. And this game coming up in New Mexico is going to be probably the last game. So we had one taste. Yeah. Just 12 months of the Drew Mestemaker time as our starting quarterback. And it started out with a bang, threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he ran for 1. And hopefully it ends the same, right? It's a lot different in that, same feeling, but it's still different, right? Like last season, it was going into that one. We're like, well, hopefully we can do some things. We're losing Chandler Morris. Hopefully this kid can be something for us,
serviceable.
Yeah, we're like, we're gonna get some people there. Same kind of vibes. We're like, well, who are we losing? Who's gonna be there? Like, who's gonna call the game? Right, that's what we're saying. The other thing, I was looking for a picture because the new Avatar is coming out. I don't know if you're interested in the new Avatar, but I was like, I want to go see it. I go see. I like James Cameron, and I was like, when's the last one come out? And so we're looking it up, and it was 3 years ago. Right, there was a picture around the same time, December 20th, 21st. We're getting ready to go see the other Avatar. And I always say that because then I was like looking through and I had a screenshot of Eric Morris, drinking his water bottle. The guy's so thirsty. Drinking his water bottle, getting ready to do a press conference. I was like, well, has it been 3? Yeah, I guess it's been it's the same amount of time. So in between Avatars, we had a coach, and then I guess we'll get a new one. And then when the next Avatar comes out, we'll be saying goodbye to Neil Brown, I guess. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, and folks, and all you people, San Diego State Aztecs, are you excited about them? And since y'all are not here to respond, I'll just ask Aldo. Aldo, answer for the people. Are you excited about them?
I get to watch another football game with North Texas in it, and I guess that's the extent of it.
I like it. So they lost to Washington State in September on the road, 36-13. I watched that game at the time. They beat Cal 34-0, right? That was kind of impressive. Everybody else on the schedule, I'm like, this is, I don't know anything about these teams. I don't follow Fresno State football. You beat them 23-0. Nevada, 44-10. I remember when Nevada used to be good, right? But I don't know anything about them now. They beat Boise State 17-7. At the start of the season, we thought Boise State was going to be pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of fell off. They're was it 9-5 or whatever it was, and they lost their bowl game. I don't know what to think about Boise State. Is kind of what I'm getting. So it's hard for me to get a sense of San Diego State as a team, as a program. And I got to be honest with you, I haven't been, and I imagine it's the same for everybody else here, I haven't been super hyped about this game outside of saying, well, it's another chance to see our team again. It's not really.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we deserve something more fun than the New Mexico Bowl. And people talk about attendance and this and that. I mean, even when it was in Frisco, it wasn't that well attended. And I don't think we should lean on that excuse anymore. I think it's payout, right? Let's go to a bowl that has a pretty good payout, and this one's not so bad. I think it's over $1 million for the winner, maybe more.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And but at the same time, I'm like, do we deserve to be asking for a better bowl as North Texas? Going back to the beaten down fan, but no, we've jumped on the national stage. We've got momentum going. We've got excitement going, and this bowl and this matchup doesn't really excite me. I mean, I might eat my words because every time I talk like this, we end up getting blown out. But yeah, like San Diego State, at home they average 31 points. On the road they average 18, and I don't know what to think about them. Are they still in the pack? Whatever.
Yeah, they're in that they're in the Mountain West, and they're going to join up with the new. Yeah, so I mean, it's basically the Pac Mountain West. And so we've. It doesn't have USC and UCLA and Cal. I mean, it's not the old version of it, so it doesn't matter anymore.
They're a weird team. They they beat Wyoming 24-7, but like you said, they lost to Washington State 36-13. But then they beat Boise State 17-7. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this team. I think they're hot and cold, or maybe it's just the matchups themselves. If Drew, I believe, should be playing at least for a half. And they should just take care of business, in my opinion. There's not a lot to glean in my mind. Like I've been trying to look at bylines and in between what to glean and whatnot, but it's like no.
Yeah,
don't overthink it.
I mean, there's a lot of this stuff where I feel like everybody sense just just kind of pulse of it. I've sort of taken a step back because it was like real intense up until that championship game, and then you lose. Okay, and everybody feels real sad about it. We talked about it. After that, it's like, okay, well, the competitive portion of the season is done. And I don't want to say that the bowl game doesn't matter. We're not Notre Dame out here. But I think from a fan perspective, like we want to see them play. We want to see them compete, all that other stuff. But I also think that we don't think of it as like, like San Diego State is a team that we're thinking about. It's more like I think the number one questions have been who's going to play, what coaches are going to stay there, and who's going to call the game, right? And that really, I feel the same way about like San Diego State. It's like I don't know what team is going to be there. It's very difficult anymore to look at a team that played, say, November 1st, right? By itself, beating Wyoming at home, impressive. We said that we beat Western Michigan. We thought they were a good team. You beat Wyoming at home. I think there's like a run the ball kind of team. They're tough, but they're pretty terrible. So you're like, all right, 24-7 beating of a sort of like a mid-level team there in the Mountain West or whatever. What do I think about that? I'd have hot sports opinions about it, but like I don't even know if that team's going to be the one that we're going to be competing against. I don't know if that North Texas is the one that like I said, beat Western Michigan is the one that's going to be applicable to this game right now. Certainly the head coach, the play caller is not going to be there, right? So it's going to be Jordan Davis, who's also going to leave, right? He's going to be gone. He's going to go to East Carolina. Skylar Cassidy he's going to call this game, but I mean I don't know. He's also been thinking about moving to Stillwater and what that life is going to be like. Everybody has more than a toe dipped into their next destination, even though we've all heard the right things, right? This is the 2025 team, right? This is not over, and all that's correct. It's not, but in the same way that all of you guys right now are, technically still working in 2025. I think a lot of people are like, yeah, it's holiday time, right? You're kind of, it's not tuned down, but the tuned out, but the volume's real low, and you're getting ready and you're thinking about next year and the next one and what you're going to do. So I don't think that's bad from our perspective. I don't think you need to care. I'm not going to try to convince you to care about San Diego State. You don't have to be hyped about them. It's fine. Yeah. I don't even think you need to be excited about the New Mexico Bowl. especially since we're from Texas, right? It's a Texas-based team. It doesn't get that cold, and you're like, well, let's go to New Mexico, get some warmth. I'm like, well, it's hot over here all the time. You know, I think a change for us, for people, fans of North Texas. By the way, when I walk around, people go like, "Oh, Texas." I'm like, "No, this is North Texas," but whatever. Would be to play somewhere where it's cold. I think that would be, the difference. We should play in Colorado or something, and then advertise like skiing. And I know like Albuquerque, whatever. But I'm just saying, you
There's
get my
skiing
point.
up there.
Exactly. But then you don't think of it that way. You're like New Mexico Bowl. They don't advertise it with snow on it. There's like a cactus or something there. You know what I mean? So it's a Southwest destination.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess when I moved to Denton, a lot of my friends would consider New Mexico as like the skiing destination. The few friends that would go ski, they would go to Santa Fe, particularly, not necessarily Albuquerque.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's. But there's that part of New Mexico, and then there's what's the town on the other side of El Paso? New Mexico. I'm gonna have to.
You're stretching my knowledge of New Mexican geography here. I know that there is an Albuquerque. I know that there's a Santa Fe, and there's not too much else. I've driven through New Mexico before. I mean, I can't tell you it looked any different than Arizona or Western Texas. You know what I mean? It's a lot of the same stuff.
I mean, all right. I will say, as a geographer, I will say that New Mexico has its beauty, and it's got like dormant or extinct volcanoes and stuff, and oh my gosh, I can't find Las Cruces.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember what college is over there. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that.
New Mexico State.
Is that where New Mexico State is, right?
Yeah, in New Mexico. Yeah.
So there's also that part of New Mexico that you're like, oh, let's not stop. Let's just keep going.
I mean, if you don't, I think there's a certain kind of person and that appreciates the American Southwest. It is very beautiful. It's also the desert, So like, I mean, I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching Eddington, New Mexico, right, or just Eddington, whatever it's called, with what's his face in it, Joaquin Phoenix, and they're in New Mexico. And I was also watching Pluribus, which is set in New Mexico, which is the same guys that did Breaking Bad, which is set in New Mexico or whatever. I think there's a certain kind of like my mother-in-law for a while lived in Phoenix, so I've been out there. Is that like there are certain things about it where I'm like, this is beautiful, but I just have this overwhelming sense that I'm in the desert. Like this is cool.
I don't need to be here.
Yeah, for the desert. What are we doing here, guys? In the desert. They're like, yeah, you get a lot of scorpions and it gets real hot during the day. Like, yeah, in the desert, yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. What are we doing here? Why are we living here? What's the plan? Why are we here?
It's on the way to California.
Yeah, there's a lot of that there. And I mean, again, they're nice places there.
With all due respect.
Yeah, do it. I mean, because like
energy.
Maybe you live there and you're like, you know what? I raised my kids here. I mean, cool. I'm just saying, it's like there's a reason why the majority of the population didn't, throughout human history, people were not really spending a lot of time there. There was only certain groups there. It's not as populated as other places. It doesn't get a lot of water. I don't know if you guys know that in the desert. You need that to live. So cool. Is it? My point is like, are you enticing people from Denton? You're like, hey, guess what? If I got the trip of a lifetime plan for you, you're like, okay, what was it? It's gonna be beaches or something. Like, no, I think of the desert. You're like, well, okay, wait. Is this Vegas? You take me? No. It's not Las Vegas. It's Albuquerque, New Mexico. Like, okay. Is that like a layover for somewhere? Really? Because I mean, but think of it. It's 100 degrees there sometimes. Like, yeah. And think about it. Like Christmas time, instead of it being cold, it's like 78 degrees. You're like, that's here. That's literally right now. I walk outside. It's 75 degrees right now. So what are you selling me? Yeah. What are you selling me? I mean, Albuquerque's a little. I know I'm just exaggerating.
It's in the mountains.
Yes, I know it's in the mountains.
Listen.
Yes, I did this to my friend too. I got a friend who's from Peru, and he's like, he insists that he lives on the beach, but I use my American lack of geography knowledge of Peru to just say, I don't know, man. I just feel like you're just in a mountain. I don't know anything about
mountainside.
Peru. Yeah. And he's like, I lived on a beach. I was like, according to you, but anyway. My point is, are you excited about this game for the destination? Like, did you, Aldo Avina from Austin, lived in Denton for approximately 2 decades, whatever it was, and you thought that, you're like, oh, you know what, bucket list to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm missing that chance here. Is that what you thought?
I bet was there once, and I think that was enough. 20 years ago. No, I saw that and I was like, really, of all places.
Yeah.
And again, I think at the last pod that we did, I talked about how the players like destinations, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to players in the past that I'm like, hey, how did you like this bowl? And they're like, no, I didn't want to. I wanted to go to the Bahamas Bowl, or the bowl in Hawaii, or wherever they are, Boca Bowl, and because it's they've earned a reward, and that's the reward, and I don't know what kind of reward they're getting in Albuquerque for themselves, other than trying to get a win for the program.
Yeah, and that is my point. In case you can't understand all this, is that like Albuquerque, New Mexico, like the whole point of these bowls, right? Like historically, were tourist attractions for predominantly northeast teams and people to travel to the Southwest. You're like, hey, you're gonna take a vacation anyway in December to get away from the cold. Why not consider Scenic Albuquerque, New Mexico? You're going and you're like, oh yeah, the Southwest. It was novel, right? So, like, as we have access to Instagram now and lots of other things, and flights are even cheaper, people have been to a lot of these places. You've driven through them, and, it's kind of hard to say, like, you've never been to the majestic Albuquerque, New Mexico, and looked at the panoramic view of the, Sierra somethings? What are over there? No, the Sandia Mountains and the West Mesa, as you might know it. The Sandia Manzano Mountains. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff is not as much of an attraction. That's partly why some of these bowls are dying, right? Like, they're big TV draws. Bowls now are TV draws. They do pretty well for ESPN and others in terms of ratings, so they get to sell ads. So they don't really care so much about the attendance. They just care about the TV number. North Texas has been a pretty good draw, all things considered, this season. And so,
highest ratings. I think the athletic department put out some numbers, and I believe this was one of the higher ratings ever and most watched ever for the program, most average watchers.
Mm-hmm.
But we also had some really good spots on ESPN too, several times.
I mean, there's a little chicken and egg thing there, right? Like, there are a lot of people who are fans of the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs because they were on WGN and TBS. And when, you got those, you're like, well, I'm going to watch this game. I guess I'll watch the Braves play. It's not like, well, why didn't you grow up a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers? Because I didn't ever see them, Mm-hmm. I saw the Braves. I saw them play. I don't like the Braves, but I saw them play. I didn't like Tom Clavin's face. And then, like, like same thing with, like, the Cubs. You kind of watch them. Like, you can see them play. You have access to them, so you watch them. So if you're browsing, you have ESPN, ESPN2, and you're just still in the habit of clicking through, and you see a football game on, and you see that it's North Texas, you're going to watch it. So, like, it's always the same thing. That's why people have been clamoring for, hey, you got to rotate it a little bit. It can't just be the same teams all the time. If, again, what always has the highest ratings? Whatever is on network television, It doesn't matter. You put it on there, people are going to watch it. There's a joke about the, I forget his name, sorry, the comedian's joke. He talks about how, like, it was like 60 million people watched the Beatles. You know what? He's like, what else was on the other channel? It was like snow, It was like, so it was that or the Beatles. So who are you going to watch? Of course everybody's watching the Beatles. There's nothing else to watch. So, I mean, yeah, we need access. You put us on ABC, suddenly people are going to watch us and have hot sports opinions and talk about North Texas. This season, because North Texas has been so good, they've been on TV a lot more often, and we're on ABC for the championship game. People have been saying like, oh, I like their helmets. I like their team. They got that coach, messed him, and then the player, what's his name, Mustamaker. I'm like, oh, that's Drew Mustamaker. Like, yeah, I never remember how to say his name. Stuff like that happens.
Yeah, and then you talk about it at work. How's North Texas doing? All these Washington and Washington State fans at work. Yeah. I see they beat so and so.
People stop thinking that. Well, people stop thinking that this is an Eagles hat. They're like, oh, that's that Northern Texas State, right? The University of North Texas. But yes.
Yeah, you get the chance to educate people, and it's a good time. And I've got my little mini helmet in my cubicle, and people see it all the time. And you get to talk to them about North Texas exactly. I think mine's a little bit more on the chrome side, like lime green, more lime green.
I thought you'd like this one since this is your favorite coach.
Oh, nice. Oh, when I see that, I think Patrick Cobbs, to be honest.
That one, this would be more Patrick Cobbs, but it would be with the script. I don't have the script one. Put that there instead of reaching over, do a pratfall. All right, so San Diego State, the Aztecs, they had Marshall Faulk, right? He's an alum. So is Kawhi Leonard, I mean, I don't know. That isn't moving the needle. Yeah, where is he? Oh, I missed it. Missed my cue.
I'm a fun guy.
There he is.
Gonna make me Google San Diego State famous alumni.
Yeah, and I want to say this is a part of I have it in my head. I don't want to sound sports dumb. Who is the baseball guy?
Justin Masterson, Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, there it is, Tony Gwynn. I want to say he played there, right? Tony Gwynn. There he is. Yeah, it's Tony Gwynn. Yeah, Tony Gwynn is one of my favorite baseball players. Oh, getting how old I am. You see the, like I said, see the wisdom growing. So if I say
Carl Weathers.
Really? If you see this right here, I say something dumb. It's dumb, but it's a wise dumb. It's years of thinking that went into that dumb comment.
I can keep going. There's Herm Edwards, Joe Gibbs.
Herm Edwards played at San Diego State. I didn't know that. Joe Gibbs.
Gregory Peck.
Wait, Joe Gibbs, the
not the musician.
Well, you said Gregory Peck. He went to that doesn't sound right.
That's what it says.
What was he called then?
Oh wait, maybe maybe he was just a coach and didn't go there. Hold on one second. That was Joe Gibbs. Going back to Gregory Peck.
You talking about the actor Gregory Peck?
The actor, the late great Gregory Peck.
I guess he was from San Diego. He was born in San Diego. Yeah, he did. He went to San Diego State University. Did not know that. And he dropped out of Cal Berkeley. Interesting. There you go. I didn't know that. Old Atticus Finch himself. All right, let's quit reading Wikipedia at everybody. Here's the questions. Let's answer some questions real quick. The breaking news is that people have been asking questions like, who's going to transfer? When are they going to transfer? I think it's been gross to see people like, when's Drew Messemaker going to commit to OSU already? I'm like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, at least let us finish it out. You know what I mean? Like, just, it's like somebody
going through... Oh, you mean people outside the program?
Yeah, it's like people going through your house like, well, you're about to kick the bucket anyway. Let me see. I can take, let me see. I'm going to put my name on this so that way everybody knows that this is
certainly not going to need this.
You're not going to need this mountain bike, are you? I mean, you don't look like you're too able-bodied anymore there, bud. Yeah, so like Drew Messemaker, probably, the reports are probably that he's going to transfer. And it makes sense, again, like, the rumors are that it's like $3 to $4 million that he might receive as not quite salary, guys, but like NIL payments, right? For his name, image, likeness. Considering, again, people know exactly how to spell his name, the common man. But, so there's that deal. And SEC programs, Indiana was rumored to be after him. And then I think, like, it just makes sense that Brophy, his current QB coach is going to be the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. So it makes sense that he would just go there and go with Eric Morris, right? Eric Morris called the plays. I mean, it's the dude that coached him up and called the plays that led to a 4,000-yard season. Why wouldn't he continue there?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that as they eat the rest of this cookie?
Yeah, for Drew Messmaker's sake, I think having this last game, especially so late in the month, gives him plenty of time to shop around. I did, like you said, Indiana is sniffing, SEC schools are sniffing for a $3 to $4 million payout. That gives Oklahoma State an opportunity to, know what that looks like and get those donors to put up some money to try to retain him. Because like you said, it makes sense for him to follow the people and the system that he knows that gave him success. That's great. And Sean Brophy's done a fantastic job. I had a lot of complaints in terms of mechanics of Drew Messmaker that bowl game, so I wasn't really trusting him going into this season. But a lot of those things were worked out. They were great, and and some of them persisted, and we saw that in games. That's why he wasn't really connecting down the field. It's mechanics. And anyway, all that to say, it's awesome for him to have this chance to get this big payout. Unless Oklahoma State can use this time to drum up some money, it'd be great to see him go to a place like Indiana, or a place like somewhere in the SEC, like LSU.
Yeah, so like a couple things about that. Like, it makes sense if you're wondering, like, why doesn't he coach him up? There's like 4 dudes on the roster, right? 4 or 5, kind of depending on who you consider part of the quarterback room. So there's a starter. He's working with Chandler Morris, right? And then maybe the backup. And then maybe you have some time for the third string guy, and then there's kind of everybody else. And Drew Messmaker was a walk-on. Now, even if he's doing really well, your focus every week is on the money maker, and that's Chandler Morris. And so then there's a switch, and you get that last month, and you're working with Messmaker, and then you're like, okay, this is probably going to be our guy. We even got another guy in. But then it's only been this past season that it's going to be Messmaker, every day. Because now he's number 1. But I would say this, like without knowing anything, and without knowing his relationship with Eric Morris, because I think it's been productive. But I don't know, maybe he doesn't like him. I don't know. There's this. I've been on productive teams with people that I don't even like, really. I'm just like, you know what? Hey, 5 o'clock, it's done. I'm leaving, and I'm not saying, hey, let's go grab a drink, or let's go hang out, or let's get the families together. I'm like, woof. Glad my time with this person is done. Like, that's been the thing. But we've been very productive. Oh, you guys are so great working together. Like, well, because there's nothing else to talk about but work, So I don't know. I'm being extreme. I don't know. Maybe they're best friends, and maybe they're just awesome. Maybe they go to church. I don't know, and I don't really care too much, other than to say that would be a draw, obviously, to do that. I think there's some value in challenging yourself. Right, it's the same way as you go off to college, sort of challenge yourself. Now, all that said, Messmaker has challenged himself at times, right? So, like, maybe he kind of wants to, let's keep it going. Let's not make it so hard. But I would look at this, like, Fernando Mendoza, right? Heisman Trophy winner. Like, he was not on my list of dudes that I was like, this guy, who's going to win the Heisman this year? It was a little bit of a weird year, but whatever. He won the Heisman. He played at Cal. You guys remember that? Like, Chandler Rogers went to Cal to go try to take his job, right? It didn't quite work out. Mendoza ended up winning the starting job there, but that was the deal there. Like, he was in like an air raid. I can't even think of his name right now, but former North Texas offensive coordinator. Oh, it didn't come to my head.
Oh, Mike Blesh.
Mike Blesh, yeah. He was the OC there. One of the OCs are sort of rotating it, and Justin Wilcox was there. But they ran sort of that same kind of offense. I think Spavital was there too. And Rogers went there. Fernando Mendoza was on the roster. He was kind of in that mix. So he leaves, and he goes to Indiana, and he wins the Heisman Trophy, right? And, might win a national championship. So, like, if you're Drew Messmaker, if you just look at that, like, is it possible for a sort of an air raid kind of kid to go to a place and then earn play? Is there a path there? Yeah. Look at this Mendoza kid. He basically did the same thing.
It might be number 1 pick in the draft too.
Yeah, I mean, so like that would intrigue me a ton to say, well, here's a way to turn a talented. Mendoza was talented. He had a Cal scholarship, all that good stuff. But like here's a path for me to kind of do that. And like, yeah, you can go to LSU. Yeah, you can go to one of these other places that give you a lot of money. But I don't know if that's kind of the same thing. Like the place where, just from a college football perspective, the place where things are happening, where it's interesting and they're winning, is Indiana right now. Like you got maybe that, Oregon, but I think that is very intriguing to me. And like I said, like from a person from Texas who moved to the Midwest, I like it. I like the Midwest. I like the seasons. You got 4 of them here, so that's kind of cool. And if you're like, oh, it's cold out there, yeah, you buy a jacket. That's it. You got a jacket. Like and now I knew with him because like in Texas it was like a jacket. You just had
just get a dang jacket.
It's a little jacket, right? I didn't have a coat, like a winter coat. And you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get what you have about stuff.
that reminds me. We were watching while you were sleeping. We watch it because we feel like it's a Christmas movie. Anyway, it's based in Chicago.
My wife feels like that's a Thanksgiving movie, but go ahead. She likes.
Oh, really?
It. Yeah, but she watched it. But I don't know. She watched it, but yeah.
Starts on Christmas Day, and they're based in Chicago. My brother lives up there, and I've gone to visit him in like April, and I don't think I need a coat. It is so cold. I had to borrow one of his ski jackets just to feel warmth. It is cold up there. That wind is bitter.
They call it the Windy City. Yeah, I mean, when I moved here, I was telling somebody of that, and they're like, "Yeah, don't put your winter coats away until May. In May, then you can kind of go, okay, it's done." I mean, I went to opening day, the Cardinals here, and I had to buy some. I was like, I need gloves, so I have Cardinals gloves, a Cardinals beanie because it was cold. We were also sitting like the tuner section. The wind was nipping at us.
Yeah,
but that was opening day, so it was cold.
We get random days like that too. I think I went to a staff like a TPU wide, company wide baseball fundraiser at the minor leagues, Tacoma Rainiers, and I think it was August. I want to say it was August, and I had to buy a sweater while I was there. Yeah. It gets chilly. Yeah, but it's weird because you get 6 months. When I want to say 3 months, 6 months. It's about 3 months of just sunshine, and you get 80-degree weather. And sometimes it'll poke 1 or 2 days in the 90s, and then the next day it'll be like low 70s, which is comfortable, but the breeze hits and you're like, ooh, a little chilly.
Yeah, I mean, I did get used to it a little bit. I always tell the story about I have family in Michigan, and back when I was a kid, we drive up there or they drive down to San Antonio. So we went up there, and my uncle was like, all right, let's play basketball. I heard you're good at basketball. Let's see how good you are. And it was like March or something, and it was like 50 degrees, and I was freezing. I was like, I need a jacket. I can't play out here. And he was like in shorts and like a tank top. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I'm never gonna be that. And now recently, like it was down to 0 here. Well, it was 7 degrees here in St. Louis, and it was 0 degrees in Champaign, Illinois when we went there. But then it got up to 50 this past week, and my wife and I were both like, "Oh, it's like nice and warm out. Like, yeah, we can kind of
just sweating."
Yeah, I mean, it's 50 degrees. I mean, I don't know. So like, you do adjust to it. So all that to say to Mesta Maker, if you're gonna go somewhere, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know. I don't know that they're listening to the show. I'll just say that intrigues me, right? If I were in his position, and I know everybody's playing this game, like, son, let me tell you what, dude, you should do this, right? I'm obviously going to make this decision best for you. That intrigues me because I think their coach is interesting, right? Signetti, I think the whole system, and they're winning. Like, he says, you just Google me, I'm a winner, or whatever. Like, he was kind of doing that. But he's doing things at a place where they've never won. One of my favorite quotes about Nick Saban, who's been talking a lot of mess about the G5, is from Mike Leach, who said, it's funny how he got to be such a great coach, like, once he got to LSU and Alabama, right? Like, I remember him at Michigan State. He wasn't the greatest coach of all time there. I mean, I'm sort of paraphrasing, but that's basically what he was saying. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, it's amazing how resources suddenly turn you into a better coach, right? And so I think that is interesting about Signetti. And, like I said, it's interesting about Eric Morris in that he has some of that. So I'm going to keep talking to him, just a warning, you can take a drink of water. that Signetti's won at JMU, and he's won at all these places where you're not supposed to win, including Indiana. Right? Nobody's won there, right? Seth Luttrell was over there coaching, offensively coordinating there. They didn't do a whole lot of winning. Kevin Wilson was there. They sort of won a little bit, but he's national championship kind of winning, right? It's right there. That intrigues me. Eric Morris, same thing. He did more with less at UIW, like no resources. Here at North Texas, never won 11 games, this, that, and the other. And so, yeah, sure. I think when Eric Morris is giving his resume, he's like, look what I did, what's never been done there. And then, Jared Mosley, and they're like, yeah, we also we played a part, we're building it up. We did that. And yes and no. It's all those things together.
Yeah. I think my comment to that is like the stability that Signetti is offering is way more enticing than say what Lane Kiffin is offering, mm-hmm. right? He's bringing chaos and he's bringing this notoriety to the program that may or may not be the place he wants to go to finish out his career. While Signetti just got the extension, right? You were thinking because it is Indiana, let's not forget that he would be poached by a bigger program.
Yeah.
And he refused, and he got extended, and so you feel that program's going to be like that for a while. And if he goes to, I don't even know where Bloomington is, but if he goes there, we'll have an opportunity to play against him next season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of good and bad, but I mean, whatever. Like, the thing is, we can offer him maybe $1 million, right? I think that's what the rumors were. We said we can scrounge up a few dollars and say, here, Drew Messamaker, we will make you a millionaire. But everybody else can easily do that, and plus, right? And also they can give them all the rest of the stuff. It's like, look, you've been playing in front of 22,000 all season, program record. That's all good. If we got 22,000 here, something went wrong. We might have misprinted the date on the ticket, right? So like, it's gonna be a step up. It's going to be different here, and that's part of that college football experience that you're going to want. And they're going to have all of that and more, right? It's going to be a bigger deal, and I get it. I mean, it is what it is. If we want to keep Drew Messamaker and the like, we got to care about football at the same level as everybody else. And yeah, you can be like, well, no, they're getting that TV deal. They're getting that TV deal because people are watching. They're just giving them money. They're giving because people care. Because when it's time to go buy, merchandise from LSU, they care about it. I mean, even Louisiana, to the detriment maybe the reading scores, right? They're like, here's $100 million to fire this coach so we can get the next coach in, right? Like, y'all don't need to learn to read yet. And maybe we cared a little too much about reading, I guess, in Denton, Texas. I don't know. I mean, we said this before. I went in. Was it the Mean Green Gridiron show? Billy Sierra and Carter Lacey's show. I said this before last year, before the bowl game, is that we got to care, right? We got to show up. We got a lot of normal reasons not to go. It's expensive. I worked that day. Oh, I just don't want to be disappointed again. Whatever. All those things. Those are true, normal reasons not to go and not to care. But college football is not for normal people, right? If you want to win, you got to be abnormal. You got to be better. You got to be different. You got to care. You got to give the money. You got to buy the tickets. You got to do your podcast on Sunday morning so that way you can talk about the Mean Green. You got to, this is what you got to do. Like, that's where you have to care. Everybody has to care. You have to have multiple hats. You got to have the helmets. You know what I mean? Like Aldo there, You got to do all the things. You got to bother people about the stuff in Seattle. Like, what are you talking about? Don't you know that it's just North Texas? No. Don't you know that it's North Texas? That means I can't come in that day. 27th, I'm going to be, don't book me for nothing because I'm going to be watching, the New Mexico Bowl where Miami and Green are playing. It is what it is. That's how, you got to know about it. Yeah, I mean, so, I do feel proud of, and a little crazy sometimes. Like my friend, he got me this because I was talking about him all the time. They know that about it. It's part of your personality. But it has to be more than just the people that do it. It has to be even more than that. It has to be, crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point, that it has to be a part of your personality because it's such a smaller program, smaller base, a fan base, I should say, that you have to make being a North Texas fan, you have to make it into your personality, right? When you go onto Twitter, you see all these guys, you see JD, you see Miles, you see Billy, Carter, all these guys, and it's all their personalities are centered around North Texas sports, and well, not just sports, but the university itself, and well, I mean, part of that is pride. 99% of that is pride, and the 1% is fun, and so that's always awesome, and you always want to do what's best for your program and cheer for your program because you went there, you put your resources and time in going to classes and stuff, and you have a connection there, right? And somebody from, you're not going to get T-shirt fans for North Texas. Maybe parents that have like North Texas dad, North Texas mom, but that's about it.
But you will if you start winning. And that's the part where you make the new ones. It's like why did I grow up? I don't know. I always tell this story, but I'm a little bit of a crazy person in that, like, so my earliest memories of like watching college football, I see the team with the N on and whatever, and there's the weird Florida State one, and then there's like the Gator one, and I was like, these don't look like NFL teams. Like these are weird. And then, inevitably I'll be like, so who do we root for, Dad? Like, who's our team? Do we have a Texas team? Is there a Texas? And he's like, well, yeah, there's like Longhorns and there's the one. I didn't like A&M one because I was like, what is ATM? That looks stupid. I don't know. Well, there's too many letters in that. Like, it's not simple. Yeah. Texas, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you have it's ATM? Why didn't they call it A&M? I was a kid. I didn't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But so that
you and every other kid.
That's it. Well, I was like, so this is mine. This is ours. We were going for, and it wasn't until I got older that I was like choosing college, and I felt like, well, this is mine. In the same way, like maybe you have a crush, then you get married, and like, okay, you can't pine after, I don't know, Jess Galbo anymore or whatever. I don't know what you all do. I'm making up a name, sort of based on one of my friends, but like that's kind of what I'm saying. Is that like that's weird to me. So yeah, to me, it's like I like sports. I like college. This is my team. This is the one I chose. I chose University of North Texas, and so that's it.
So much like you, Adam, my son will come into the room, and I'll be watching some random game, and he'll go, "Who are we rooting for, Dad?"
Big moment.
I was like, "Buddy, we're not rooting for any of these teams. We're just enjoying the game." Yeah. And a lot of times, while I was living in Texas, right, like we've said before, I grew up in Austin, Texas fan. And so there was tons of sports hate for A&M. Not going to watch them. We're going to root against them. Hope they lose every single game. Less so for Oklahoma, but the Red River Shootout was always like a fun thing. And then after 2000, what year was that? 5 or 2008? Texas Tech, a whole bunch of sports hate there after the upset.
Beat Texas. Yeah.
And anyway, went to North Texas, became a North Texas fan. All that kind of got set to the side. I still follow Texas just to see how they're doing. Right, a soft spot there. But now that we're up here, and we have that distance, anytime any kind of Texas school is on TV, we'll flip it on because you want to support Texas teams, whether that's Tarleton State, whooping up on Portland State earlier in the year.
We know what the reason for that was, but yeah.
There are other reasons,
The game that shall not be named,
And then A&M playing yesterday, I was like, oh, well, I hate them, but I hope they do well against, oh, shoot, I don't even remember.
Play Miami.
Miami, thank you.
So that's the part there is that, like, I mean, because when I grew up, like, to me, again, like, I still think of Nebraska as a quality program because they were winning. And I always thought people were like, oh, that's iconic. We'll make this iconic. You can't make it iconic until it wins, right? Like, when I was a kid, Alabama wasn't very good. And so then they looked silly with their numbers on the helmets. And wasn't until they're winning national championships, suddenly that looks classic and iconic.
Classic, yeah.
USC just looked, like a team until they're winning championships, right? And then they got Snoop Dogg on the side, Will Ferrell on the side, Reggie Bush is scoring, and like, wow, look at this iconic uniform. Now Iowa State wants to wear it or whatever. It all looks kind of silly until you start winning. Oklahoma was very terrible until they won some national championships and were winning, right? And they got a couple Heisman Trophy winners. Now their uniform is iconic. And then Indiana went back to that look, and on and so forth.
My father-in-law would always tell me, you know what the N stands for, right?
No.
Knowledge.
But so like, it's like Nebraska was like that N looked like mean because they would kill teams like 50-0 with that triple option or whatever. And you're like, this team's unbeatable. There's like they're from like the 9. So again, I would pick up old magazines or talk to whatever, and I'd see like, can Nebraska be stopped? You know, I was like, they must be good. This must be a good team.
Yeah, I remember that. And well, and on top of that, they were the Cornhuskers, so you were getting whooped up by the Cornhuskers, and I think that added just a level of coolness. Like, how can you make Cornhusking cool? Well, that's how they did it.
Well, you can't stop the triple option, I guess. So all that to say is that, like, go back to what you're saying is like, how do you make North Texas that? Like, you can't. It's not what a brand change. You can't like, what if we make our logo this way? If you're still losing, it doesn't matter. You go 11-2 and you score touchdowns. Suddenly, what you're doing, where you're doing it, the way you're doing it becomes, attractive. It's like the famous thing is like humans, you talk about it from like a like evolutionary standpoint. We like winners because it means that might be the way to do it, right? Like, hey, that guy's living long and he's hunting well. Let's do what he's doing. Like it makes sense, right? Like maybe he figured it out. So, like maybe it's the way he's dressing. I don't know. We'll do it all. We're gonna dress the way he dresses, walk the way he walks, talk the way he talks, and maybe we'll get to live long too, and we'll also hunt as well as he does. And so it's the same thing, right? If you start modeling your program after Nick Saban because he's winning, Cignetti was doing a little bit of that. People were doing it after Cignetti. Everybody's doing the same kind of things because that's what winners do. It's the way humans are, right? You start winning. Well, suddenly the diving eagle looks even more amazing. No matter how cool it is, just.
Yeah, and what I think about that is the hiring to having really good hires, and I'm not just talking about the head coach. I'm talking about within the athletic department, hires that know what good looks like. I know Jared Mosley knows what good looks like, and he's bringing that element to the program, and that's why I kind of feel like. All right, so no disrespect to Patrick Cobbs. He's been excellent. I think he deserves... Well, no, I'm not talking mess. I'm actually like, he deserves an opportunity to get a promotion, maybe call plays somewhere. I don't know if that's here, but what that does is it opens the door for... If, let's say he does get a promotion at a bigger program for all the great work he's done, that opens the opportunity for a position that hasn't been open for years and years and years. At the running back coaching position, we can use that as a time to bring in somebody from a bigger school as well, and have them bring that element from bigger schools, or even like a graphic designer, right? We bring in a graphic designer from a place like Alabama or LSU or whatever, right? Just making up a big school. They know what success looks like within the graphic design domain, and they can bring that element to North Texas. Anyway, little things like that where you're bringing in talent or people from places that know what good or excellence looks like, and they bring that element to your program. That adds a lot of that energy, and Dan McCarney did that when he came, and then Seth Luttrell did that when he came, and now Eric Morris is doing that. Did that as well. Yeah,
that's always the thing is that, like, going back to the basketball program, that's what McGaslin and those guys did. They would not only hire coaches who had won and coached, and they'd find players that won, right? Like all those JUCO guys that they're taking a chance on. They were winners at the JUCO level, right? They won JUCO national championship, and then you had coaches that had won at that level, won at lower levels. They know what it takes to win and know how hard it is to win at that level. So they come here and they win. It's the same stuff, right? You get Cignetti, he's won everywhere. Now you're just going to win here. He's going to keep doing it. And so you tie yourself to existing experience, existing expertise on how to win, how to succeed, how to do things the right way. That's why I like this allegedly, these rumored hires of these successful high school coaches in the DFW area, right? It's like, here's success, you do that here. Right. And I mean, like going back to Todd Dodge, I think we overhired him, right? I think famously he was considered to be like a tight ends coach for Bill Parcells, Cowboys coach, wanted to bring him up. And he was like, no. And then, he ends up, it makes sense but I think he made that jump from high school head coach to college head coach. And that was like, well, too much. He wanted to go, he probably should have learned the ropes a little bit. And,
Sure, yeah.
I think
in
maybe,
hindsight.
Yeah, if he had it to do different, maybe he does it differently. But, I think he was betting on himself. Whatever. It was a swing and a miss. Yes, same stuff, right? You want to hire successful head coaches that have done it recently in this area, and you bring them up. And I think that, again, you said it's the whole point of university, right? You're not getting dumb kids, right? Like, man, you should have failed all your classes. Here's a scholarship, Like, you're getting smart kids, right? Kids that have accomplished something. You're like, well, come here, be around other people that are like doing that same thing. They'll make you sharper, right? So maybe you're the smart kid, and you meet up with other smart kids, and you're like, wow, maybe I ain't so smart relative to the smartest, and that's fine. But it sort of,
I feel that every day.
you're like, man, maybe I'm kind of dumb. But the thing is, like, being around them makes you better, right? Like that's the whole point. That's the point of university. Yep. Is like, let's get the best people that we can. Let's bring them together. Yeah, we're gonna learn or something like that. But good things will happen when you do that. Same stuff in a program. Your football program. Let's get football winners, right? You're awesome. Ran for 1,000 yards. We're gonna need you to be a third string running back here because this guy ran for 3,000 yards in one season, right? But that's gonna make you better. You're like, let's see how good I can be. Whatever, all that stuff. The whole point is to compete, make each other better. Yeah, build lifelong memories and all that other good stuff. But you can't get better until you see what even better can look like, right?
Yeah, and you just reminded me about the hiring of the North Crowley coach, Ray Gates.
Yeah.
And, he built an awesome program right there. He's got a lot of respect in the DFW area, but both from players and coaches. So I think that's going to be a great recruiting point. And former Chris Jimerson coach as well. Yeah. Big reason why he was winning. And I think that's a good sign long term that we can lock Chris Jimerson up for the next at least 2 to 3 years. At least that's my hope in my heart. That with the assumption that he's going to be successful because he looks awesome. He throws great passes. He's electric. And maybe we see some of that at the later on second half of the bowl game. So that's that. So we can look forward to 2026.
Yeah, I think you always got to place a lot of small bets in college football, right? Recruiting, relationships, because you don't know. This guy that you're recruiting might be the head coach somewhere later, and you're going to be asking him for a job right now, right? And you were just a recruiting analyst, this kid, and then he goes on and whatever. All those things happen. College football is a small world. I'll say this one though, because we're coming up on time, about Patrick Cobbs. Like, I've asked him before. I was like, hey, do you want to be the head coach of North Texas? And he's like, yeah, well, yeah, of course I'd want to be the head coach of North Texas. I think some people are like, does he even want? Yes, I think. There's a lot of ambition, everybody. You're in there because you love the university. You're in there because you love, the people, the relationships you build with your players. You're working with them all the time, all that good stuff. But everybody has a little ambition, right? You don't want to just be a position coach for the rest of your days. You'd like to test yourself, see where you can be. It's normal. It's human. I think you're talking about from a career path. What does that look like? I mean, there's a lot of ways to get to be a head coach. And I think sometimes you got to stop down, right? Kirk Cignetti was a wide receivers coach, I think he was. And he for 4 years, and there was not really a way to advance. And so he dropped down to, I think it was the FCS level to coach over there. It might have been Division II, I can't remember now. But he dropped down so he can, basically give himself a promotion by dropping down a level. There are a lot of ways to do it. You got to figure out something. I think, I don't know. Patrick Cobbs, I don't know if he has a vision board. Maybe he has a vision board on there, and he has the hat there, and then he has a HC next to it. Head coach one day, Cool, yeah, it makes sense. If you're, you set all the records, you're a legendary running back in the Hall of Fame, and you're a football coach now. Why wouldn't you dream of being the head coach at your alma mater? That sounds great. It sounds beautiful. We all want that. I think the problem with that is it turns you into it puts a hot seat on you, right? Like, you're the legendary player. They got a coach, right? Like Deshaun Foster over there at UCLA. So you don't want it to come too early. You want it to come when you're ready for that. I think, if you're hiring you want a guy that's been a coordinator. Who's going to give Patrick Cobbs a coordinating kind of job? And there's a give, but there's also an earn, right? Some guys have earned it, but they don't get it, right? You might be ready for it, but you might not get it. So there's a timing and availability aspect and that kind of stuff. I can see the thinking and continuing on with Eric Morris, and without knowing anything happening there, I'd like to see a path, right? If I'm like, is there a path for me to get more responsibility? And Patrick Cobb's the run game coordinator or whatever. I think you got to get some passing stuff. Maybe, I don't know, maybe coach the defense for a little bit just to see what that's like on the other side of the ball to get a holistic view. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to do it, and it takes some risk, right? And I don't know that Neil Brown is going to offer that to him. I know nothing about it. I haven't had those conversations with anybody, so I don't know. But I don't know what Neil Brown. And again, Neil Brown, yeah, he's looking at Patrick Cobb like, it'd be great to keep you here. Here's an offer, but also Neil Brown's thinking about Neil Brown's North Texas Mean Green football, like
right. His own vision for the program.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what that means for Patrick Cobb. I mean, it'd be great to see him be the head coach here one day. But Neil Brown ain't gonna give him the head coaching job. Like, oh, you wanted to be head coach? Oh, here you go.
Oh, here you go.
I didn't know that. Here you go. So that's it. I think. Long story short, if you see Patrick Cobb go somewhere, I think that we'll all be watching his career with great interest to see what that looks like in the future, right? And also, the other part about that is like Brandon Bird's coaching. I think I can't even think his name right now. Quarterback, last bowl winning quarterback is still, he's coaching high school. I can't think of anybody's name right now. I'm terrible. Too much eggnog, guys.
Derek Thompson.
Derek Thompson. Jeez, sorry. I apologize to the Mean Green faithful.
You're doing my thing. That's my
yeah.
bit.
No, I'm doing. We're switching to White Elephant Day. But Marcus Trice is out there coaching at ACU right now, and he's doing well. He's coaching the DBs, right? There are a lot of former Mean Green dudes out there making their way, through the coaching ranks, and that's what that's what you want. Marcus Trice successful, when he won at North Texas. Derek Thompson won at North Texas. Brandon Bird won at North Texas. Patrick Cobb won at North Texas, right? So there's a theme here, Again, the winning. You're like, hey, you did a lot of winning. You think you can teach me how to win?
Yeah, but it's a tough gig, right? There's a lot of uncertainty, and sometimes it's short term, and you don't know what that is going to be like, right? Derek Thompson went off to coach at Sherman High School. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but he's got a family, so maybe he wants something that is like long term and permanent. And if he's already there, maybe the motivation's kind of low to try something at the college level. But Marcus Trice, you can see that energy online too. He's like, yeah, sign me up. I'm going to do that, this and that. And it just depends on situation and what you got going on in your life, and that motivation is part of it. I know Derek Thompson is motivated to go do better, improve his career. But, I know I look at my family and I'm like, okay, do I want to get a job in Seattle and drive there every day? No. I will take a pay cut and stay nearby, make my life better. And so I understand those kinds of career moves as well. But yeah, great interest in to see who Neil Brown will hire in terms of
I know you're
Texas alum.
First name basis with the guy. What's up, Neil? Good old NB, my buddy. We go way back, Troy days. That's it. I think let's go enjoy some Mean Green football on Sunday. I don't know how we're gonna. It's Sunday, right? We play Sunday. It's the 27th. Is not the 27th Sunday, or is it Saturday?
2 seconds.
Somebody bring up a calendar. Where's my
Saturday, December 27th.
Yeah, that's right there.
At 2:45 p.m. Sean Kemp time.
Ooh, I keep Tim Duncan time, which is 3:45.
Yes. No, 4:45.
That's 3:45. It says right here, 3:45.
No, I've got 2:45 here, so I'm 2 hours behind.
You're 1 hour now because we did the thing. It says 3:45 right here on the official thing. The link. I'm looking at it right here, guy. I'll tell you what. It will be Saturday. Look it up on your local TV guide. Get the paper.
All right. Yeah. Look at your local TV guide. It says all time specific 2:45 p.m.
College football. Yeah, I remember that. See, that's the part I did like doing that because there was the guide at the time. Dads are in control of that. I couldn't see it, so I was like, oh. But I did like seeing a TV guide because I could look at all the stuff that was going to come on TV, so I could place my bid. Could we watch this movie on this day. Look, it comes on Thursday at this time. Yeah, make my case.
So that reminds me. I used to read the newspaper when I was a kid, and I think it was called the Showtime to Show Something, and it wasn't the TV guide. It was just a newspaper, and in like tiny fonts, like all the rows for the different channels throughout the entire week.
Yeah,
you just flip.
Yeah,
through the whole week.
That
you
was
get it on Sunday.
Yeah, and so that's why I knew like what was coming out. I was like, can we watch Demolition Man? It comes on HBO. I'll close my eyes at whatever parts I'm gonna close my eyes on, Mom. But it's coming on. It says HBO has a show.
It's a classic.
Yeah, but I mean,
if you don't know what he's talking about, go buy the VHS right now.
The VHS. Yeah. So okay, there you go. You got any big plans for this holiday season? You going anywhere? You seeing anybody? You inviting people over?
I am not going anywhere. Mother-in-law is going into town. Everybody's going to be excited to see her. We're going to take her to do Pacific Northwest things if the weather holds up. Seattle has a nice Christmas market. We're going to go there, see some things. It's over by the Space Needle. But yeah, we're just hanging around here and cooking.
Sweet. Yeah. We're going to do something similar like that. You're just going to be in town. I think we're going to go see Avatar 3 today. Like I said, I like it's right in the, it's a spectacle, and then sometimes you just kind of want to zone out more spectacle. Like, is it a great movie? It doesn't matter. It just like I don't want to.
That's a big point. Yeah, it's like Battle for LA. I had arguments with friends when I was younger about the movie itself, and I was like, it's not an Oscar-winning movie, but it's super entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah, I mean, again, I got a 4-year-old son. And he thinks like things that I'm very cynical because I've seen it a lot, right? Just somebody jumping. He's like, "Wow!" And I'm like, you know what? I need to be more like that. So let's go see some wow. They're gonna be flying on those dinosaur things, or whatever. That's cool. That's cool stuff, man. And then he's gonna be like, "Dad, did you see that part? Wasn't it cool when he was there?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was cool, man."
And then he goes and does it.
Yeah, he's like jumping off the sofa, but stop doing it. Whatever, all that stuff. That's part of it. That's why I'm gonna go see it. Like that's what's fun. Like, I was playing basketball with my daughter yesterday, and it was one of those moments. Like, I realized that was the first time we played one-on-one. Like, I've shown her how to play basketball, but like she's good enough that she can shoot the ball and compete. I beat her, obviously, but it was the first time we were playing one-on-one. I was like, it was like a special moment, and you got to appreciate all those. Anyway, hope everybody has more of those kinds of moments this holiday season. Aldo, you said so. We got that right. You're gonna go watch them throw that fish back and forth in that fish market thing or whatever they do there.
That's another market. I've already seen it once, and I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I was kind of. They're throwing the fish. Okay.
So that's Pike Market, and I'm going to the Seattle Christmas Market. I know it doesn't really make a difference just saying that, but
in the same way that Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Santa Fe are basically in the same spot, in my mind.
Yeah. Just to add to that, there's been a lot of flooding out here, and then on top of that, there's been landslides and now blizzards up in the mountains. So we're kind of like trapped in our area, so we can't really venture out more than like half an hour. Because I could travel just an hour away. I'm at around sea level right now, and it's like 50 degrees, 40 something degrees. And if I travel about an hour east, if there's no landslides blocking the pass, there's feet of snow out there. So it's really cool, the diversity here. But I don't want to deal with that right now.
Yeah, it makes sense. You just kind of stay in. I mean, you think about one's ancestors, right? Like wintertime wasn't like, hey, vacation time. It was like a starving, let's just make it through kind of period. So you're just like, oh, I'm so stuffed, there's food and whatever. Like they wanted that for you, right? And they think, man, hopefully my kids and their kids and all that don't have to deal with this harsh winter. But, you don't want to throw it in their face too much, Like, these gluttons. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Mean Green Nation podcast. Merry Christmas to you. And if you celebrate some other one, whatever you say, I don't,
Happy those days too.
Yeah, happy those ones. Happy Monday through Friday. That's what's happening for us. It's gonna be some Christmas time. Do you open at Christmas Eve? Presents Christmas Eve?
No.
Yeah.
Well, we're Catholic. Well, my family was when I grew up we were Catholic, and so Christmas Eve was like the day we would have like special events and parties and this and that. But
Yeah.
we do not open a single Christmas until Christmas Day, and then baby Jesus would bring you like a special gift, and so we kind of do the same thing.
Seems like a lot of burden to put on baby Jesus there.
Yeah, it's like
Baby.
he's strong. How did he get that bike in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Christmas Eve we'll go have a party with friends, and then we'll come back. The kids will go to sleep, and I'll build whatever it is, the Santa Claus
Yeah.
gifts and I'll be up till 4 a.m.
Yeah, how's that work out? How did we get that job? You know, like, and that where are these elves everybody's talking about? You know, what's going on here?
It is our
Yeah,
cross to bear.
yeah, that's the other part too. Is that we're making a big emphasis on who's getting the gifts. Like the kids are getting the gifts for the other kids, each other, you know, that kind of thing. And then emphasizing, you know, like that aspect of it. We got to limit this stuff because otherwise it'd just be stuff. And they're just like, oh, cool. What else did I get? Nah, I don't want that. I hate that. So
Last year I got 37 gifts.
yeah, I don't need that. You're gonna get one gift, make it count. It can't be over $22. Anyway, so that's the part. We're trying to emphasize the attitude and the appreciative, the gratitude, I should say, of the season. So anyway, good time. Merry Christmas, everybody. Go Mean Green.
Merry Christmas, go Mean Green.
Recording stopped.